Whoa! Whoa, I didn't expect that. That's great.
Yeah.
We're recording. Oh, we are recording.
Recording now.
Ah!
Welcome back.
Hello, everybody.
Do you want to show them what you're secretly wearing today? The first time ever.
Maybe.
no pressure. Oh, a little bit late. It's summer.
What a beautiful day it is. It is here, right in the ohno forest. Look at it. Look at the light streaming through the canopy.
It's changed.
It's changed, hasn't it?
Like I always say, I hope it's changed because our editor can make us look like
Cassie. It's changed, hasn't it?
It has changed. But one thing that hasn't changed is that we do scary. What a segue.
That was.
Is that we do scary stories, and today it's me.
Today's Danny.
It's time for my story.
We've kind of switched with the old bait switch, haven't we?
Yeah, I'm on Thursdays, Jack's on Sundays, so stay tuned because this isn't our only video. If you haven't watched in like a month or so, we're doing 2 videos a week right now.
And also, as of today, we hit 10,000.
Oh, 10,000, yeah. Well, let's talk about that at the end.
Okay, we'll talk about that at the end.
I've got something to say about that.
Usually we do a title. Dan's going to give us a title.
Okay.
It's really scary.
Title for this week's story is The Lone Wolf.
Oh, good. Good. That's a good one. Okay.
When Coyote turned 16, she thought the world would open up for her. As a kid, that was the age she imagined that you become an adult. She thought she might get to drive her dad's pickup truck. She thought her mum would let her drop out of school and become a full-time streamer. She thought she'd get invited to parties like the ones she'd always seen in the movies. Well, she was 4 months past her birthday now, and none of that had happened. Not much had changed in her life at all, until Aunt Cadence came to visit. Cadence was a lot older than her mum, a gap that had only seemed to widen in recent years, with her arthritis aging her beyond expectation. Coyote could barely believe it was her as she hobbled up the driveway, but when she looked up and saw Coyote, that smile was still the same. "My little wolf, look at the size of you now. You're a beanstalk." Coyote laughed and hugged her. She'd seen her at Thanksgiving just 3 weeks ago and now wondered if her aunt's memory was going as well as her joints. Cadence slumped into the armchair with a deep sigh. Coyote's parents were finishing dinner in the kitchen, leaving the two of them alone in the living room. Cadence wasted no time, leaning forwards towards Coyote with an air of urgency. "Come here, child. I've got an offer for you." Coyote's mind raced. Was it money? A summer job? Maybe she'd get that dream catcher she'd always wanted. "You're a big girl now, and I need a favor. I'm going away for a while, to Florida. They need to do more tests on me to find out what's wrong with me. The doctors just don't know. They've looked for everything, but my body, I just don't know anymore." Coyote didn't know what to say. "Sorry? Can I help? Do you want me to get you anything?" She felt rather helpless. Cadence continued, "I'll only be gone for a week, but I need someone to look after the house. I'll speak to your parents about it. What do you say?" Faced with the first offer of adulthood since her birthday, Coyote didn't take long to accept. She heard Cadence speaking to her parents in the other room. Dad wanted to know how long for. Mum was worried about how isolated the house was. They were both concerned about emergency contacting. Cadence had an answer for everything though, batting away each question with a reply that seemed perfectly anticipated until at long last they had no further objections. It was settled. Coyote was going to Domum House. She punched the air with joy. It felt good. It felt grown up. When the day came, they almost got lost on the way there, despite having visited multiple times. Cadence had scrawled directions on some paper, but they had long since abandoned them in favour of Google Maps. It seemed though that Domum House defied their attempts to locate it. Each country road seemed to loop back on itself. They swore they saw the same woods 3 times in a row, and one sign seemed to disappear altogether. By what seemed like sheer luck, they finally found the driveway, which was more of a road by any reckoning. It carved its way up a hill through dense trees arched overhead, dimming the light and muffling all sound except for the quiet hum of the pickup. Unlike the driveway, the house was hard to miss. Coyote grinned as soon as she saw it. It was still one of the strangest sights she'd ever seen, and most of her friends didn't believe her. A 2-story house built to look like a teepee. Bricks, timber, and glass molded to form what looked like the mother of all tents. Coyote had always told people that if you knew her Aunt Cadence, it made sense that she'd get a house built in this fashion. Extravagant, defiant, and dripping with heritage. Just like Cadence, thought Coyote, as the car came to a halt. Inside, her parents insisted on checking every single room, testing every lock, and looking in every cupboard. While they did, Coyote took it all in. It was grand. The ground level was made up of sprawling oak floors, mahogany furniture, a great stone fireplace, and long slanted windows covered now in tiny pine needles. The whole place smelt faintly of cinnamon. There were fur rugs thrown over almost everything. The rest was covered in traditional weaving, tribal patterns that Cadence had spun over the years. Coyote recognized one in particular, draped over the mantelpiece, a wolf fighting a demon. Cadence had made one just like it as a gift to Coyote many years ago, although in her one, the wolf seemed to be winning. The image before her depicted a much closer fight. The demon seemed to have a wider grin too. Okay then, sweetie, you call us every few hours, okay? I want to hear from you every single morning too. The talk continued from both her parents. Don't go out after dark, check the locks twice before bed, don't speak to anyone in the town unless you need to. Coyote knew it all, but nodded amicably, like she felt an adult should. They left in a swirl of hugs and kisses. The sound of her dad's truck purred into the distance before melding into the deathly silence of the house. Coyote jumped into the big armchair and fumbled for the TV remote. It had only been a few minutes, but already she missed the sound of other people. She hovered her finger over the buttons, unsure which one to press. Cadence hadn't upgraded her TV in years, claiming that she already had enough company as it was. At that moment, a voice cut through the silence. "I'm sorry, I didn't catch that." Coyote froze. Her hairs stood on end and her mind raced. It came from the kitchen. She spun round to face the door, which was slightly ajar. "Hello?" No reply came. She gingerly climbed out of the chair and inched her way towards the kitchen. Her anxiety only climbed as she saw that the kitchen light was off. With one hand, she clutched her phone in her pocket, feeling it slip in her sweaty fingers. With the other, she pushed open the creaking wooden door and switched on the light. There was no one there. Her eyes scanned the room, across the wooden countertop, across the range stove with its iron kettle and brass cooking pots. Everything was old in that room, which is why her eye quickly caught the one thing that was not. Nestled between the ceramic pasta jar and a weathered rolling pin was a Google Home device. Coyote was calmed by the realization that the voice must have come from that, but that was only half the puzzle. Why did her aunt, a bastion of traditionalism, bother to get one of these? And why had it just replied? She took 3 steps towards it, while remembering the command she saw her friend use with his one. "Hey Google." Small white light swirled on top of it, accompanied by a bleep. Coyote hadn't thought this far ahead. What's the weather? The weather in Ashfield, Massachusetts is 12 degrees right now, dropping to a low of 3 degrees tonight. Coyote felt a bit silly. She didn't need to know what the weather was, but felt obliged to ask it something. Still, the feeling of embarrassment did little to cover her sense of dread. She didn't know much about these things, but she knew that every question was answered, and every answer needed a question. In the living room, Coyote mindlessly flicked through the TV channels. Her eyes were fixed on the screen, but her ears were focused on the kitchen door behind her. As an hour passed, she began to calm, resigning the device's outburst to a glitch or a reset. A cowboy movie piqued her interest. They always did. Mainly because Coyote loved rolling her eyes at all the historical inaccuracies while portraying Native Americans, and this one had a lot of them. She almost laughed at the scene where the village chief had a Bostonian accent. It was downright ridiculous. Then, his voice was momentarily drowned out. The weather in Salem, Massachusetts is 14 degrees, going down to a low of 3 degrees tonight. Coyote practically crushed the pause button. She certainly didn't ask for the weather this time, and although it was the same weather report and the correct state, she certainly wasn't in Salem. She marched to the kitchen, and in one swift movement, she pulled the device right out of the wall. For a moment, Coyote thought about leaving it outside and just taking the blame, but her aunt must have got it for a reason. Everything had its purpose in this house. Despite its lack of power, the device creeped out Coyote too much for her to enjoy the rest of the evening, so she called it an early night. She rang her dad as she made her way up the spiraling staircase and insisted that he stay on the phone while she brushed her teeth. She told him she just missed them. The scenario that had just played out seemed too absurd to relay. She didn't want to worry them. Cadence's bed was surprisingly large. Coyote found herself lost in the layers of quilts, rugs, and throws. After wrestling with them for a few minutes, she finally found the perfect position. One leg out, one leg in. Not too hot, not too cold. She felt safer that way too. Her mind swayed with the ticking of the grandfather clock on the other side of the room. Back and forth between thoughts of home, of friends, of school, of mum, of dad, of her house and of here, of the TV and the kitchen and the device, and the sound came from directly below. Coyote might have doubted that she'd even heard it if it wasn't for the familiar beep that she'd heard earlier that night. Her body was paralyzed with fear. She felt tears welling in her open eyes, her ears strained in the silence, and then she heard a voice. It wasn't hers. It wasn't the device's. It was a low rumble, like a thunder in the distance or a train passing in the night. She couldn't make out the words, but the reply came ringing throughout the house. Okay, playing Wolfpack by Ambient Sounds on Spotify. In an instant, the house was filled with the sounds of wolves howling, layered on top of each other, accompanied by violins that crawled up to a crescendo and then came crashing down, shaking the glass of water by Coyote's bed. She reached for her phone but grabbed air before realizing she'd left it in the bathroom after speaking to her dad. With the howling all around her growing louder, she scurried to the bathroom and found her phone lying in a small pool of tap water. Hurrying back to her room, she tried to wipe it dry with her pajama top, but her grip failed. The phone slipped and tumbled down the staircase. It bounced and bounced and bounced before thudding to the bottom. As it did, the music stopped. Coyote began her descent. Her heart pounded louder than the sound of her footsteps until finally she reached the bottom, to see her phone face down in front of the kitchen door. Her whole body screamed at her to run, but she knew her phone was the only way out. She picked it up and looked into the kitchen. To Coyote's horror, the device was now plugged in, just as it was earlier. Its buttons glowed in swirls beneath the dim kitchen lights. She knew she had to get rid of it. Taking one big breath, she strode towards the device, but just before she could lay her hands on it, she heard a laugh. Not from the device, but from behind her. From the very door she had just walked through. Coyote whimpered. She eyed the kitchen knives that were just out of reach, but before she could turn around, the voice spoke. Okay, Google. Turn off the lights. Okay, turning off the lights.
Techno werewolves. Techno werewolves. Oh, that's got to be a part 2.
Technological werewolves.
That's got to be a part 2. I love that. I love that. That's like watching a horror film. In only the ways that you do very well. You painted an incredibly vivid picture. And I also love the juxtaposition between, you wove this quite massively actually, the juxtaposition between traditionalism and then modernity. Because as soon as there was an OK Google, by the way, your Google voice is second to none. You've been practicing.
Yeah. Well, you can tell them about that.
No, that's freaky.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a great concept. Conceptually, I love that. But like the juxtaposition between Aunt Cadence's, she's almost like a plastic witch. Do you know what I mean? So she's a witch, right? Or
She has something's up with her.
Something's up with her,
She's not-
100%.
She's not in league with the thing.
okay, but she's they're in pursuit of her.
Well, yes. The idea what I was going with is
By the way, if you are making this a part 2, don't spoil it. I want to know.
no, this isn't spoiling. It's just sort of setting the
Okay.
world. Basically, the reason why she was aging so quickly because this energy was in the house, this force, but it didn't have any way. It didn't have any way to come out, and like for some reason she got one of these, and suddenly it has a way to communicate.
Whoa! Whoa! I didn't expect that. That's great.
Yeah,
That's great.
and that's what she felt. She said she felt like she had company there, even though she lived alone. She could feel.
No, that makes sense.
She
that
could
makes
feel
sense.
a presence in the house.
Okay, that's
it wasn't
brilliant.
until she got this that
Whoa.
suddenly the thing had a way to communicate with
Whoa.
with what was happening inside. Yeah.
What a perfect way to kind of blend the old and new worlds that we've been creating. That's really good. That's really good. That you just gained yourself an incremental point. Wow, man. What a crazy idea.
So what of these things we have nowadays were what was needed?
No, I love it. I love that. Oh, that's
Something about them
that's got my mind racing a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's some kind of evil energy that perhaps, you know, we can talk about that all day, right? Where it came from, but obviously, kind of the negative magic that Aunt Cadence kind of is aware of or kind of encapsulates in some sense.
Yeah.
Has found a voice to it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love that.
Or it's just like
that's
it's
good.
sort of it's giving it that what's the word medium like
Yes.
a medium.
Yeah. It's giving it a voice. A mouth.
Yeah, like what if that's the the downfall, like what if all those times we talk about scary stories or ghost stories, whatever, and they knock something over, or they might be like a little murmur in the background. It was just that they didn't have the tools yet, and we invented the tools to our own sort of downfall, and like that might be ground zero for it or something, and like
That's how we're gonna end though.
is that what? You had to speak up for the camera.
That's really good though. I love that, dude.
Yeah.
What a great concept.
I just want to point out that like I in no way would say I'm good or have any idea about what it's like to be Native American or that modern day experience at all, which is why I was trying to do like little like jabs at it with the cowboy movie. I wanted it to be clear that like like
Yeah,
I'm trying.
I felt like you painted a vivid picture.
But it just seemed like the perfect culture to be
100%.
just very steeped in tradition, but very spiritual to be the.
I almost felt like it had some kind of crossover with my witches as well. Like perhaps if my witches were the evil witches, yours would be the good witches. Oh, that's got my mind racing a little bit. That one has. That was really good. That felt like an important one.
Yeah, it opens a lot of possibilities. I think I've done a few now where sort of technology goes haywire, but it's normally sort of mischievous humans doing it or just strange glitches. But this is perhaps the first one where technology is being used by something else.
Yes.
So.
But also from a narrative perspective as well. Like I did feel that there were perhaps a few lulls at the beginning. Mm-hmm. But when you turn it up, dude. That was something straight out of a John Carpenter movie. That was.
Well, I was trying to paint more of a picture.
When you did the wolf.
Yeah.
I got scared, man.
Well, because I have done stories where it will go straight in at the start, and I wanted to like paint more of a picture. I wanted to just sort of.
And that served to make it so much more horrifying as well at the end.
Yeah.
There was that state of calm all the way throughout. This beautiful, nice world. Where's it going? And all of a sudden, because I was trying to fit, I was like, okay, so the Google thing's got something to do with it. Okay, Google. But without knowing what I know at the end, whereas it's a dark energy exemplified in okay, Google machine, Google Home.
Yeah, or
Google, if you're watching this, sponsor us. But once the explanation of that pays off, the ending sequence is like perfect. Google, turn off the light.
Well, I wasn't sure how to end it. I felt like I could have ended it on that, but I found like the happy-go-lucky charm of the reply. I thought that was creepier.
Yes, yeah. That again, and it was a story of juxtapositions, which perhaps plays into the whole when you were talking about the wolf fighting a demon, and it looked like the demon was winning.
Yeah, that was sort of symbolic about how like it's been kept at bay. Like their family is like, you know,
Defended
like,
it.
Yeah, and they're sort of. I think her name Cadence. I looked it up. Comes from some sort of wolf demon or something. That's like that's, you know, and it's Coyote meant like the little wolf or whatever it is. And there's always sort of wolf symbolism in their family. That's how I pictured it. And you know, she obviously felt that energy. Yeah. So that's what came out in the weavings. But the more recent one, it felt like something had changed. Like
there's a darker side to the Lycan energy.
Yeah, and the demon was like smiling. It's like it's got something. You know, it knows it's got a tool now.
Yes,
it's got a medium.
That was good, man. That was really good.
Thank you.
I thoroughly enjoyed that.
I enjoyed it.
I thoroughly enjoyed that. Would you like a score?
Yeah.
You would?
Mm-hmm.
It was going to be a 7.9.
Hey.
It was going to be a 7.9.
7.91 or something.
But it's a 7.9.1. No, but again, it's the second time you've done this. The prior explanation with kind of like what the Google Home was channeling push it to an 8. That's an 8. That's good.
Nice.
That's an 8. And I like how it neatly fit in many boxes without fitting in any boxes. Do you know what I mean?
Well, it's sort of, it feels like
it made me feel something.
A couple of our more recent stories feel like they're sort of drawing on everything that we've done and everything that we've done, you know? So I feel like that's sort of like
it very much felt
like I've drawn on themes that have come up a lot in the past couple of months, but like I don't know, it just seemed like a good one to sort of have a little. That's my version of a crossover, I guess.
I loved it. I loved
thematic crossovers.
You got my mind racing more so than a lot of them. That one made my mind really race. I could see it. I could see things.
Okay, potential sequel then. Potential sequel.
I'd love to see a sequel of that one.
Yeah.
Good job, buddy.
Thank you. Okay, well,
if you have a story as scary as that one, please send it to this address.
Yeah. We're going to be doing a live stream, hopefully, should you say next week?
Yeah, well, next week. You said you wanted to mention something about...
Well, yeah, I think the most important
10,000
announcement is that we reached 10,000 on Tuesday. 10,000 subscribers. Which is nuts.
I didn't know what to say.
It is crazy. It is crazy. I think I looked and for the whole of February, I think we got something like 220 subs or something.
Thank you to all those 220 subs.
Yeah, no, thank you. Yeah, but the fact that we're here now and we're at 10,000. So yeah, we're definitely going to do a live stream celebration for that.
Yes, we are. We're going to talk many things on that live stream celebration.
Yeah.
I feel like it may be a lengthy one.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to have a party vibe to it.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
It's going to be a party.
Everyone get in. We're going to have a live stream party.
So bring the champagne.
Yeah, we'll just bring beer. We're not.
Yeah, we don't really drink champagne.
No.
Yeah.
But yeah, hope to see you there. Thanks for watching, as always, guys.
Thank you so much. Usually we...
Really quickly, don't forget Jack's videos coming out on Sunday.
Oh yeah, my video's coming out on Sunday.
Yeah,
thanks.
Stay tuned. But time to blow out the fire.
Usually blow the fire out.
Yeah.
You know that by now. We could like...
There's an obvious
howl
one.
it out.
Yeah, that's the obvious one.
Or we could go, okay Google, turn out the fire.
Oh, I think Cassie just threw a sound effect.
Oh!
I really hope.
Just doing my job.